Good morning, everybody. How are you doing here? Thanks for joining me this time in the morning here. As some people know, I've been doing a lot of stuff with 3D printing right now with my Perler Beads. Something that the science teacher and I wanted to do was kind of do a little something with manipulables, but also transfer it to desktop or iPads. So what happens is I created basically these are atom manipulables, similar to a math manipulable, but they're made out of various color stuff. The green represent protons, the yellow represent electrons since they are smaller, and the pinkish colors, reddish, create for neutrons. So basically, is I got this idea from Derek Muller's snap atoms, where he uses these atoms here to snap them together to show what chemical bonds look like. Now the difference is that the atoms are already complete. They're carbon atoms, nitrogen atoms, everything snapped together to make your elements. But what we wanted students to do was actually visualize what those atoms look like. So, if you look at the periodic table, there's a lot out there. So what we wanted to do was kind of create a work where we could have students do manipulables physically and then transform digitally to make a nice little transfer learning from scaffolding here. So here's an example. Here's atoms. So what happens is if we would share this on Hapara or Google Classroom, and basically what it is atoms. And what we would do is we would insert in here, and of course water would be what they have to create. So, and I'll make this a little bigger so everybody can see it. So the students are told to make water here. So that's the random one's water. So the students would have to go over here and make H2O. So you have to make a hydrogen atom. So you got one atom, one electron. So there's that one. And then of course they have to get a second one because of course water, as you know, and does not include feathers, is H2O, is two hydrogen atoms. So there's your hydrogen, there's your H2. Now of course the next is of course doing the oxygen atom, which we all know oxygen, of course, according to the periodic table, is 8 protons and 6 neutrons, and then move that up. So what you have to do is you have to do the chemical bonding. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there is our protons. And of course, as we know, for every two protons, there are 1 neutron. So we're going to put the neutrons in here. So there is my neutrons. And then of course we need electrons for each one. So we got to do 2 for each proton, because every proton has 1 electron, as we all know, is the classic science. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to push these away. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 7, and 8. So there you go. Is you have your protons, electrons. So this is the chemical manipulation for H2O. So there's our 2, and then there's oxygen, and then there's our 2 hydrogen. So I'm going to move those right over here, get these correct. So there we go. They physically have created those. So then we go over to here, and of course what they'll do is they'll come over here. They'll use their shapes icon on Google, and what they'll do is they will recreate those perfectly, and we're going to make those, of course, to match the atoms. So copy, boom. So there is my 2 hydrogen atoms, and then of course we need to do our electrons with that. I'm going to make these a little smaller, so there's that, and we're going to make those yellow, bright yellow. I'm going to copy and paste that. So there is your 2 hydrogen atoms. And of course now we need to do our oxygen, so we need to do our 8. So that's basically what we're going to do is I'm going to just copy this one. I'm going to drop it. And then basically what I'm going to do is copy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm going to do the same with the electrons. Copy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then of course just do our neutrons. So I'm going to do a copy on this one, put our neutron right here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to the pinkish color. I'm going to copy that one. I'm going to put this right up here. Copy again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are our 2 atoms, and I'm going to group these together now. And I'm basically just going to say group. And then I'm going to group these guys. I'm going to drag them over. Oops, I was going to drag them over. Pardon me. So I'm going to do that, and then of course my last shape is, these are more chemical bonds, so I'm going to go to my equations, I'm going to do my plus. So there's my plus, and I'm going to keep it gray. And now students just have to do, what they have to do is now they'll just pop in the system right here, and they're just going to put it in their text box, and they're just going to give us the chemical reaction to this, which of course is H2O, and I'm going to centerize that. I'm going to make that big and white, and I'm going to increase it. Oops, if I highlight it, keep in mind some people do not understand that. There we go. And increase the size. There it is. So there is the chemical bond. It's from manipulables to Google Slides. Now, another thing we like to do is to keep it on the know is we can have them roll a dice or flip a dice. So right here I can just do it and roll it. So they're going to get 1. So what does one atom make? Of course, 1 proton, 1 electron. There's hydrogen. So now we're going to roll it again. And we're going to get 6. So we're going to put in right here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course, do the neutrons. 1, 2, 3. And then of course our electrons, same story. I'm just gonna be a little sloppy for this one. And now they have to say, okay, what is 1 hydrogen plus 6? Now if they go to the periodic table, they will say 6 is carbon. So what is carbon and hydrogen? So what they would do is they go up here and say carbon and hydrogen bond, and see what that is, and they would find out carbon-hydrogen bomb, what it would be here, is a CH bomb. So they basically would just do it, and this is wiki.
Faster when you're done speaking this one.
And they would do that. So they would then see what that actually makes. And as they can see, it doesn't really make anything. If they wanted to make a chemical bond, they would have to go here. So if they had carbon hydrogen 3 minus H, they would make methyl. And if they did C2H2, they'd be ethyl. So they would do a research about what they could create from those atoms and the dangers of it and work it that way. So that's a little something we're doing with these manipulables with the students to transfer it. And you can do these on iPads too, using things like number pieces and all that. So this is a little something we're doing here with our own 3D print and atom manipulables. So thanks for watching. And if you want to try these out, give them a whirl, and I'll see you later.